So most agents, when I talk to them and they start talking about how they want to build a team, they're doing like 20 transactions, and then all of a sudden they feel like they're too busy or whatever, and then they just want to start building a team, right? And basically, when I started my team, right, I was doing about 40 to 45 transactions, okay? And my coach...
Like a year?
A year. Yeah, a year. But yet, these guys are doing 20 transactions, but yet they prefer to hire buyer agents because they don't have to pay them like a salary. They don't have to pay them an hourly wage. So they don't have to pay them until the deal closes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's really no actual money coming out of their pocket, and so therefore it allows them to feel more secure, I guess is the best way to put it. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in 2012, I was doing about 40 to 45 transactions, and things were getting a little bit chaotic, and my coach told me that you need to go hire an assistant. And at the time when I talked to him, he goes, but don't just hire anybody, hire the best. Hire somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, who's been in that role before, and somebody who can do it again, somebody who can replicate it, right? And so I had two people in mind, right? But there was one gal that I worked with, who's Myra Rispoli, who's still my assistant today. And basically...
So you told them that you had 4 jobs and they had everything else.
Correct.
So tell me about that. Yeah.
All right, so finally, okay, so after three times, I finally got an appointment with Meyer, right? She was making $25, $26 an hour. And I prospected on her until she finally sat down with me. And basically, I told her, look, if you jump on board, I've got 4 jobs. Prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, and negotiate contracts. And you've got to do everything else. You've got to talk to all my clients. You have to, sign disclosures. You have to check in with them. You have to do everything, okay? But at 45 transactions, I could not afford 25 or 26 bucks an hour. It just wasn't feasible, okay?
Dad,
But I did tell her, what's up, buddy?
has it been 30 minutes?
No, it has not.
How much more than 30 minutes?
Say hi to the camera, buddy.
Hi.
But I could pay her $12.50 an hour. Okay? And she thought about it for a minute. She goes, no problem. I believe in you, and I'm going to give my boss 2 weeks notice tomorrow. So she jumped on board. So then from that point forward, the following year, we did 60 transactions, right? And I remember as a new leader, I guess, if you want to call it, when she jumped on a call with my clients, giving them an update, like the first week when she was like in the office and she was following up with them and giving them an update, I was like hovering over her, listening to her talk to my clients. And when she hung up, I'm like, what'd they say? And she was like, they thought everything's good. I go, did they like you? And she's like, no, yeah, everything's fine. And I said, okay, well, are they happy with everything? Because I used to call them all the time. That was my job, right? She goes, listen, I got this. You just stick to your 4 things that we talked about, and we'll go ahead and go from there, right? So anyways, to make a long story short, following year, we did 60. And, when you hire an assistant and you have to pay somebody, it takes a lot of, how do you say it?
Pressure?
There's a lot of pressure involved. Can I pay them? Can I support their family? Am I busy enough for them? Am I able to provide for them and their family, right? These are all questions that went through my mind when I hired her. But over time, we kept getting busier and busier because of her. And so then we did 60 the following year after hiring her. And then we did 75 the following year. And then in 2014, and by the way, when I met with her at Starbucks, the day that she committed to me, I wrote out a 5-year plan, right? It was like, okay, right now I'm doing 45 transactions. The next year I'm gonna do 60. The next year I'm gonna do 75. 2014, we're gonna break 100. 2015, we're gonna start a team, and so on and so forth. I had it all in writing. And I think that was really important because then when she saw it, she believed it. Mm-hmm. If I was just talking and just telling her what a great thing we're going to do, it may have not convinced her to jump on board, right? But still, in 2014, our goal was to break 100 transactions. We fell short and we sold 96 houses. Okay, I made $490,000 that year. The following year, we decided to hire 4 agents and start a team. And then at that point in time, we hired 4 agents and we sold 141 houses. And basically, I made about I believe it was like $560,000. But more importantly, there was 4 agents that we hired that really started accumulating some really good wealth, right? They got into the business. They weren't long-term agents. They were brand new to the business, but more importantly, they were being fed leads, and more importantly, they were getting paid, and they really had a great first year or second year in their business, okay? 2015, we hired 5 more agents. 2015, I promised Meyer that I would get her back up to her original pay rate, which was 25 or 26 bucks an hour. And I did. And that's something that I feel really grateful for because number one, she stuck by me. But number 2, I fulfilled my promise with her where I could not pay her 25, 26 bucks an hour. But if you lead this team, give me 5 years and I'll get you right to where you want to be, even more at this point in time. Plus bonuses, I guess, is the best way to put it. But yet, in 2015, we sold 242 houses with 10 agents, which really made us the most highest productive real estate team in Bakersfield in a year and 7 months. And here we are now with Infinity. So
the first thing was hiring an assistant, not hiring other agents.
Negative, yeah. I mean, so many agents that feel they're too productive hire other agents or buyer agents to build a team. But the problem behind that is that you've got to have a mastermind behind that team first. The problem is that you have to have somebody who's in charge of the team. You as a lead agent, you're not in charge. Your job as a lead agent is to take listings and create inventory for your agents to sell. Mm-hmm. But most of these agents that are creating teams that are selling 20 houses a year, and now they're all bringing agents on board, they have 1 or 2 listings at the very most, and they're not even creating inventory. They don't have any inventory. Does that make sense?
Yeah.